Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just doing my eyebrow routine, and first I'm taking the Anastasia DipBrow Pomade and I'm just getting a little bit off of this brush that I got from Anatasia Beverly Hills as well. It's the number 12 brush. And first off, I'm just starting off by brushing my brows to get them in the right order so that way I can fill them in. So first off, I'm just going to be drawing a line underneath where my eyebrow naturally grows. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the top of my brow, but not doing this to the first section of my eyebrow because I'm going to work on that later on. Then I'm going to be filling in the middle of section of my brow between those two lines, and I'm using very short strokes with this, and then I'm going to go ahead and extend that line to the front to start to begin creating that gradient effect. So then I'm just drawing very short hair-like strokes in the beginning of my brow so that way it looks more natural. And then I picked up some more DipBrow so that I could go ahead and define that tail of the brow, because that's where you want your brow to be the darkest and you want it to kind of be a gradient effect. So then I'm just brushing with the other side of the number 12 brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm just continuing to create those hair-like strokes, and I'm going to keep going back to brush those out so that way they stay blended and don't look too harsh. So I'm going to brush up my hairs just like I did, and also I like to start off with brows that are already cleaned and groomed. I do not groom my own brows, I get them waxed, so just a heads up on that. So I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side. I do it a little bit slower on this side so you can kind of see it a little bit better. And I'm doing the exact same thing, going with the line on the bottom and the line on the top, then going through the middle and leaving out the first section. And then I'm going to go back and extend that line and then draw short hair-like strokes. And then I will blend it with the other side of my brush with that little spoolie that is on the end. And I'm drawing those hair-like strokes right about now. And yeah, I'm just brushing it out to make sure that it's super duper blended and doesn't look too harsh, because it's nothing you would hate more than having super like Sharpie looking brows, because I know you guys have seen those girls who be walking around with Sharpie looking brows looking all super dark and boxy, but let me not throw any shade. So I'm just doing the same thing that I did on the other side. I went back to fill in that tail because, again, the most important thing about brows is you want to have that gradient effect. You really want that gradient effect. I cannot stress that enough. You want your brows to look like the front of them is a bit lighter than the end of them. And you don't want your tail to come out too long either, so I'm just extending it out just a bit because my natural brows, the tail is not that long or thick, so I just want to enhance that a bit. So I'm again going back to just clean up that first section to make sure that it doesn't look boxy, because there's nothing worse than having boxy brows. And yeah, so now I'm going to take this MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Setting gel. It's pretty much like a gel. It's colored, which I do like. I do kind of prefer colored gel rather than clear gel because it kind of colors those hairs that you have in your eyebrows for you, which I think is a nice added it's a nice added addition to your brow. So I like to do this before I put on my concealer to clean them up, just because I don't want my hairs being all wild while I'm putting the concealer on. So I'm using this LA Girl Pro Concealer, which is my #1 favorite concealer, and I'm taking this flat concealer brush, and I'm just flattening it out even more so that I get a very precise, sharp line when I am cleaning up my brows. So I'm just taking a bit of the concealer and I'm going to draw a straight line. Well, technically not really straight. I'm just going to follow what I created with my brow. Follow the line of the brow, but I want it to be as straight as possible. Just super duper straight is the goal with this. And then once I bring that line, I like to kind of drag it down a bit so that way the concealer isn't just sitting there while I'm going to do my other side. So that way when I come back to blend it, it will be very easy. So I'm getting a little bit more concealer and I'm doing the same exact thing on this side. Going very straight and just following the line of my brow, making sure I'm not on my brow, I'm right, just a teeny bit under it, just a teeny bit, because you do not, I've done this so many times when I'm rushing doing my brows, I will accidentally cover the line on top of my brow and it just is a big mess. So you do not want to do that. You want to be very slow while you're doing this. Then I'm just dragging that concealer down to prepare for when I'm going to blend it. And I'm doing the same exact thing to the top. I'm just going over the line. I have less concealer on my brush as I'm doing this. And I'm just going to do the same thing to the other brow. Making sure I go very slow while I'm doing that. And then my eyebrows are not twins, so don't ever feel like your eyebrows have to be twins, but if they look good, make sure that they look at least similarly good and at least somewhat the same length and everything. So that's what I'm going to try to do to make sure that I don't have a unibrow. And right here I'm just taking a blending crease brush, which I don't use for my crease. I use it to blend out my concealer for my eyebrows. I'm not too sure where I got this brush from. I'm pretty sure I've had it for a really long time and it was really cheap. So you can just use any blending crease brush that is kind of this shape and size that you can find. And I'm just blending that out and kind of going side to side and kind of dragging it down onto my eye and the bridge of my nose. This is another reason why I like doing my eyebrows first, because I use a lot of concealer and I like to have it everywhere, and if I had my whole face done, this would be a really big problem. So I'm just blending that out again, and I know right now my eyebrows do look a little uneven in the middle, but I will fix that. And yeah. And I'm just blending out the top again, and blending out the top, and blending out the bottom, and blending out the top, and blending out the bottom. Sorry, I don't know what I just did there, but I'm just blending and blending and blending and blending. That is one of the keys to makeup. Blend, 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 blend. Ooh, that was not a good note. So now I'm just taking my Real Techniques True Complexion sponge. I think that's what it's called, but the Real Techniques blending sponge or whatever it's called, and I'm just patting away so I can get those lines blended. I want those lines blended. So you want them super blended. So now I'm going back with that same brush that I've been using, because I kind of took away my brow when I was blending. It all happens to us. Happens to the best of us. So if this happens to you, don't be afraid. Just go back. I'm sure you still have a little bit of product left on your brush, so you just want to brush it out and kind of fade it back to where it was. Then you just want to blend, and do some more blending, and do some more blending, and do some more blending. Oh, another thing that is very important when you're doing your brow. Whatever concealer you use, I like to use just one shade lighter than your actual skin complexion. This shade is honestly, when it's blended out, it pretty much looks the same as my skin complexion, but it's like a half shade lighter than my actual foundation color. So don't be trying to have those super white lines underneath your brows and all that, because that's just not cute, and it's better to have them looking a lot more natural. like I like to do it. I mean, my brows don't look like they're my brows, but they look like they were good, you know? You get what I'm trying to say? I think you get what I'm trying to say. So I am just again going back to kind of touch up them brows after all that concealer nonsense that I was just doing to them. You know, they don't quite like when you do all that to them. So I'm just going back to see what else I can do and blending them out. And blending them out, you're going to see what I'm doing at this point. This is kind of the finishing touches. Then I'm just going to take my beauty blender again and again and again. Now I'm taking my MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Set again. But this time my brows are done. So I'm going to take that and just go over it very softly. Because it is colored, you don't want to go too hard or else you end up with very colored brows. So, in this color that I'm using, I think it's just like a dark brown or something like that. Not too sure. So now my brows are done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and comment. My bad. Hope you guys enjoyed. Love ya.